So what's up everybody, this is going to be a Black Clover discussion, just basically looking at past patterns in Black Clover with the villains. I think Lucius might end up not being the main series villain. I think maybe Black Clover Part 1, he might end up being the series villain, but I think there's going to be more to it. So we might have a continuation of the story after Lucius is defeated, because just going back with different arcs, we thought that the elves were the bad guys, and then we end up figuring out that it was the devil, and then we thought Lucifer was planning the opening and the destruction of the world, and we realized it was actually Lucius. So there's been a pattern as to the Black Clover's villains, and I know that Lucius is basically Black Clover's best villain so far, but I will still want to talk about the possibility that Lucius might not end up being the main villain of the story. So let's get into this. First of all, if you like anime, manga reviews, discussions, spoilers, and theories, definitely hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, so we share with some false copyright strikes. So let's get this channel back to 5,000. Check out the Discord. So something that keeps appearing to me, and I kept questioning, Lucius in that semi-angel form. I think he became into like a fallen angel form because he basically purified Devil's Mana into this angelic looking being. We saw that with Sister Lily. She got Beelzebub's power and became this pseudo angel. To me, that's very interesting because that's kind of hinting that there's going to be a different race introduced in Black Clover. I said that there was going to be like a god or divine race that we're going to meet eventually, but the way the story is going, I mean, there's so much to lead into that, and supposedly we only have 7 days. That's not much time. Yeah, I will love Black Clover to last longer, but 7 days? I mean, we already have 1 day passed in the manga already. It's already nighttime, so he's been in the land of the rising sun for basically a whole day, or at least 12 hours plus. And then Asta has after this 6 days. Is there a possibility that Asta ends up slowing down time, or there's like some type of person that slows down time in the land of the rising sun? I don't know. There's just too much to it because we got introduced to these pseudo angels, what leads to hint divine beings in Black Clover. It's too much going on here to just kind of like ignore that there's another divine race out there. The fact that Lucius turned into this pseudo angelish creature, there's a possibility that all this has been the plan of some type of corrupt god. Maybe Lucius is trying to become to that corrupt god, but that corrupt god wanted Lucius to become what he became and cause chaos so that he can possibly take all the glory once Lucius is defeated by him or Asta. I don't know. To me, it seems a little bit weird that all this is being introduced, but we have yet to see these people, and we only have like a 7-day period time before Lucius makes his act. Maybe this whole Judgment Day is the rapture. I know you guys have been saying that for a long time, that the last arc was basically the rapture, or the beginning of the rapture. Maybe that was the start of the rapture, but Lucius is basically Antichrist. I didn't want to say this in this video because I have another video going into it, but Julius, he kind of gave that in the elf arc Jesus vibes. I say that because he died and got resurrected. We don't know how many days exactly passed when we thought Julius actually died. Could have been like a day or so, could have been a couple of days. I think it was the same day where everything happened. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. However, Julius supposedly died and then got reborn as a kid, basically. I think that's very interesting because the fact that Julius was somewhat written, or you can symbolize Julius being like a somewhat Jesus character in the elf arc. When he died, got resurrected, turned into a basically baby Jesus or little kid Jesus, because if you look Julius as a kid, he looks very similar to baby Jesus or child Jesus that a lot of people in the Christian world have images of and pray to it. So it's very interesting to me in that sense because the opposite of Julius is Lucius. Julius has blonde hair, Lucius has black hair. They're basically the same person, but two sides of the same coin. We do know in Christianity, in my interpretation, there is going to be an Antichrist. The Antichrist is known to bring nations together and turn into one government, basically ruled by one person. And if you think about it, Lucius's plan got basically the 4 kingdoms in the Clover Kingdom continent closer together because of what happened in the Spade Kingdom. And basically the Spade Kingdom took over the Diamond Kingdom, majority of it at one point. They were trying to put basically everything into one nation. That's Dante and Xenon wanted in a sense, but it didn't happen. Obviously, their main goal was to open the Tree of Qliphoth. However, Lucius, being the opposite of Julius, does kind of have like an Antichrist symbolized to him because we see that he's evil. We see that, yeah, he's charismatic in a way, but he also touches people and transform them and make him his devoted followers. He changes the person and they follow him without question, not with their will, like what happened to Sister Lily. Even though she thinks thinks in her mind it's through her will, but it's really through Lucius' will because he influenced her. That's kind of similar to how the Antichrist will probably be. In that case, the Antichrist would use what Lucius is doing, and the mark of the beast could end up being like these pseudo fake angels, and that could be the mark of the beast turning into these like demonic angels in a way. With that being said, what if this has been all the plan of some corrupt god trying to get glory out of this? Not the Judeo-Christian God or the Christian God from the rapture, but like a corrupt God that wants to make all this happen so it can get the glory once Lucius is defeated. Once again, this is a discussion, not an actual theory. I'm throwing my ideas out there, but it's possible because Lucius, there's something about him, and these angels, you know, we thought that Black Clover was ending, but we get these angels out there. If 𝚲𝚘𝚅 wants to continue the story past Black Clover, quote unquote, part 1, he could continue to make Black Clover a continuation, but with Asta and Noel and them as adults, not just like 18 and them being young adults, but them being adults for like 20 years, 10 years, 15 years type of thing. I would like to see that, and also to see like Asta and Noel's children grow and see how they become, and then Asta can have those father moments that as a fandom we kind of want to see Asta grow into this adult, kind of similar to Goku and Naruto. I would love to see that happen in the future. I mean, I don't know if it's the case, but it's possible. However, I think Lucius might end up being the main villain, at least for the Black Clover series, this one, and then like a Black Clover should have been, there might be like another villain, because this whole pseudo angel things that Lucius did, we have yet to see a divine race in Black Clover yet. We haven't seen them. We don't know what's going on with them. We don't even know if there's like true divinity in Black Clover. We know that there's churches that worship a cross-based god. We know that there's like a seabed god and there's multiple gods, but just from magical attacks from people. But it's like we have yet to see them. We have yet to see divinity in Black Clover. That's something that I would like to be more explained in the story. And with only having a time frame of 7 days, I think it's kind of weird that we haven't seen divinity yet in Black Clover. We've been hinting at it throughout this whole entire time, even through the elf arc. When the elves did that ritual, it was basically the tree of life, the opposite of the tree of Qliphoth. Those positions that the elves had graces or angels in those positions, in the tree of life or tree of light, which is opposite of the tree of death or the tree of Qliphoth. So it's been hinted multiple times of divinity in Black Clover. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lucius isn't the main bad guy, the main villain. There's somebody else. I wouldn't say they were pulling the strings, but how Black Clover is, it always seems like there's somebody, and then we think that this person was pulling the strings, but at the end of the day, it was this person. That's been a common theme in Black Clover. So if 𝚲𝚅 does decide to do a divine or corrupt god, history has proven in Black Clover that is possible. I don't think it's gonna be the case because how Lucius has been built up, but maybe there's another bad guy in Black Clover that hasn't been pulling the strings, but he saw the opportunity that the devil race in the underworld, there's been a huge unbalance because of the main characters defeating these devils. Also, Lucius trying to open a huge gate in the human world, causing a lot of devils to come out. So there's a possibility that a corrupt god who wants more power sees all this and decides to make his move so that he can get more powerful and he can get a higher hierarchy in the divine society in Black Clover. Because we don't know what's going on in Black Clover when it comes to afterlife. We've seen that there's spirits. We've seen that there's an underworld. The opposite of the underworld or hell would be heaven. So I think there's going to be a heaven in Black Clover. I wouldn't be surprised that there's a corrupt god jealous of the main god who's in charge and uses Lucius as a way to get himself more power so he can actually challenge the god that's in charge of the whole entire heaven and divinity in Black Clover. We could see that happening because I mean we've seen that not all devils are evil. I know that 𝚲𝚅 is a rare example, but 𝚲𝚅 has been shown that he is a good devil. I mean obviously he does devilish things, he's not perfect, but he's shown to care for Asta and have feelings of family bonds with Asta. And then you have Not's devils who seem to be fond of Not, but in like a pet relationship type of thing. But there's still affection, there's still some type of connection, some type of bonding. You don't think of that in devils, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's a corrupt god that banished the devils to the underworld. I think that's probably what happened, and that corrupt god is trying to use Lucius as a way to step himself and make his move to become more powerful, to possibly challenge the ruler of heaven. And that's what I think is going to happen. We'll see where 𝚲𝚅 takes this. Thank you so much for watching. That's basically what I have to say about this video. Let me know what you think about this discussion about Lucius possibly not being the main villain of the story. Do you think there's going to be another villain? Do you think that there's a corrupt god out there that's causing all this? Like if you liked the video, comment, subscribe, and I'm out of here.